Hey coaches, how you doing? Listen, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the roll and reach, something that I started doing many years ago. And my initial goal when I did it was I was working with a young tennis player and I was trying to help him with his level changes and his range, especially when he was volleying. So that got me thinking, and this was close to 20 years ago now. So what I want to kind of go through now is just some situations that you want to be aware of when you're instructing or implementing one of the strategies of a roll and reach. I love the on-ground versions when you're in a half kneeling or full kneeling. There's so many great methods you can use to really get deep into the hips, into the back, and to the shoulders, and just, it's a wonderful exercise. So, for example, I have a Swiss ball here, okay? It has very little weight to it, but it's got great height. So the first phase when I teach anybody the roll and reach, or if I'm specifically after adductors, if I'm trying to increase the lateral sling of their body, if I want to drive into maybe more hamstring, posterior chain, or more quads, if I can manipulate that as well, I'll usually start them a little bit higher, and just so they get comfortable with the flow of the motion. So for example, when my toes are straight ahead, like they are right now, okay, we call that if I had my markings out, that would be when I'm training in the 6 foot area, but this would be considered a closed stance. And they would typically reach in 6 feet. If I open my feet as I go, I actually rotate, then we're working 7, and then we use the cross step, it would be in 8 feet, okay? But typically if I tell my athletes, hey, I want you closed stance today, they know what to do. That's this stance, okay? So if I want to really drive adductor of this leg and into the lateral swing, I'm going to stay flat-footed on this, not going to let the foot come up because it releases that. So I try to get here, and it's going to be a same arm action, okay, and the opposite arm in the direction I'm going, but same leg arm. So I'm coming all the way across like this, and then we're sitting down into my hip. Certainly got some quad action here. If I want to emphasize more hamstring, we just keep the hips higher. I just literally bring my knee back, bring my hips higher, so I get a straighter leg now, and I'm still leaning and I'm still rotating, but I have pressure down on the ball, so not a lot of pressure on my back, and I push down into the ball to activate the lats, which comes over to this opposite side here. So we can work from here, or if I want to go more quad, we squat a little more and I stay more upright, okay? So that's one of the strategies we have. Now, as they get better, what I'll do is I'll go to the next level, which is your typical wall ball type medicine ball. It's got good height to it, but it's much lower than the Swiss ball. And I can do the same thing, but you can see all of a sudden I'm much, much lower. So depending on the pattern that I want to work, whether I'm going more quads, if I'm going to do more hamstrings, whatever it is, this makes it a little bit more challenging. Then we have this ball, which is obviously lower, but this is a 10-pound ball. Okay, this ball right here is only a 6. So when I start getting up to 10, 15, 20 pounds, I have a 30-pound ball as well. Now we're starting to get a little bit more metabolic type work. If I go long enough, if I go 30 seconds with a heavy ball, that's very challenging. But it also starts to incorporate some strength as well. And what I mean by that is if I roll this ball fast and I have to stop it, that takes some work for me to decelerate this transverse plane rotational pattern here, and this long reach of my arm in that same lat, they have to be engaged very, very quickly to stop the weight of a heavier ball as we do this. And you can see if I keep my foot down, okay, if the foot's down, I'm getting lateral sling, and I'm getting adductor stretch here. My hips are high, I get hamstring. My hips are low, I get a lot of quad work. And then, of course, all the way from the lateral aspect here, okay? So those are some strategies just to think about. I'm going to start doing some more quick little videos on these and kind of teach some of the reasons why I started doing this and all the different variations. But have fun with this, but be aware of your different options you have to help. Obviously, people that maybe are coming off an injury might need to start a little bit higher, then you can work them back down as they feel better.